how has scripture grown on you?
Okay. Define. Okay, define your context of growth. Like how.
How have you come to appreciate it?
Okay.
Because let's be real. I mean, unless you're I mean, you are amazing, but I mean, if you're that amazing, then right off the bat, like you knew scripture was it. But I'm pretty sure that you
No.
didn't develop that till later in life, right?
Nope.
And so, like, around when did you develop that appreciation, and value, and find the value in scripture, and like how that come to fruition?
So I think that goes. It goes hand in hand with my appreciation with reading, actually, because when things are forced down your throat, right, and this not. And it's not at fault of anyone. It's just this is just how education usually does it. Like, oh, they tell you to do things.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not ready, and if the way in which you're receiving it isn't proper, like it's going to feel like it's being shoved down your throat. That's how you do every book. Oh, read this book. We have a quiz. Make sure you read the book. Like, oh crap, I didn't read the book, and like it creates this negative connection with reading, and that's how scripture was too. Like, oh, does anyone know, the third verse in Genesis, part 3, da 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 da, and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, Shane, do you know what it is? And they have to purposefully. What the hell is this? They have to purposely. They purposely like, yeah, make you sound bad. I gotta plug in my headset real fast. It's dying. Like it's like a quiz. Like, oh, you don't know this? How don't you know this? Oh, do you know what John 3:16 is? Like, not really. Oh, how don't you know that one? It's the most famous one there is. I'm like, I don't know it, right? And like that's the same thing. What's the shortest verse in the Bible? I'm like, I don't know. Like, oh, he wept. Just remember that. And I'm like, damn, sorry. Like so this negative barrier gets put up. And so it grew on me poorly, right? And I think that's a valid statement for many people, especially, religious or non-religious, doesn't matter. It grows on you poorly most of the time. But by the time I was probably 18 or 19, and I got a greater appreciation for words in general, of not like the power that they had, just like how how things transferred a message. A set of thoughts and emotions get transferred from point A to point Zeta. There's all these other spots that it hits and it can get to you. So, but the same cool part for me was I read something, you read something, and it can mean completely different things. While the classical acceptance of whatever this poem means is what most people see as well. If I see something different, that doesn't mean I'm wrong. That just means I see it differently. And it wasn't until I figured that out, I'm like 18, 19 years old. This is already 2 years, if not more, in college. Once like that transfers over to other reading, right? If you want to take the Bible as the most basic thing it is, it's a book, right? That's the most basic thing you can take it is. It's a piece of leather or cardboard, whatever it is, with pages and words. It's a book. But not every single, but books do things. They instill knowledge, they instill wisdom, they give hope, they give lessons. They give peace, they show you what love is, what love isn't. So many things, and if that's the most bare bones thing attributing the Bible to, which we know that's not what it is. That's not all it is. It's a letter, honestly. It's a love letter from our Creator to us. But if we have just this basic book and it tells us these things, what's even greater is how sometimes we find random parts of this. It found like that book, this basic book with this the pages just like most all these other books, found me in such a short set of words. It is able to say something into my heart that for that split second gave me an extra shot of hope, extra shot of peace, of wisdom, whatever it, like my heart needed the most. And that's one of those things where that takes years. That takes a framework of not a basic understanding. It takes a master understanding of like, you know what, this isn't just, you know, a rehearsal session. This is a time for your you know, your soul to be heard. There's something in you, right? There's something in you that is screaming that you are either neglecting, you know it's there, whatever it is. There's something there, and like there's somehow it's going to be addressed.
I would even go to the point of where it's beyond the level of understanding. It's more so of the intimacy of the relationship that you have, where it speaks beyond knowledge, right? Or at least academic or traditional knowledge, right? And the whole idea that it's a form of communication when used properly, or if allowed to be used properly, as you said, can really communicate hope, share a depth of love that is hard found, and not just that, but provide a sense of identity and truth that can really set a person free. And of course, free is a word that we need to use very intentionally, because the whole idea of freedom is very subjective nowadays, correct? I mean, you can say that with love and intimacy, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, all these words, unless there's a canon, unless there's a bar to measure it by, a way to create a foundation that doesn't get shifted and changed, words lose power. I mean, communication itself loses power. But that's how we are made to really interact and get to know and go deeper with each other, the way we communicate. And of course, it needs to come from a common understanding of each other or of realities.